ever since I was a kid, since I was about 10, I always knew I wanted to become a scientist. I wanted to do science. That was my great passion. And whereas you had a lot of kids, not so much really the people on the show, but you could see them sort of milling around as extras and people who went to the audition. I mean, they wanted to be actors. They wanted to be on the stage, you know. And I suppose maybe one of the reasons why I got the part is I just played himself. That's me, you see.
Did you have any training beforehand, or?
No, none whatsoever. I was at primary school, and I was in the school play where I played a bear. And Mrs. Brain, who was a teacher, God knows how, she'd heard that they were looking to cast this series, and she sent me along to the audition. And much to my surprise, I got selected for the second audition and the third audition. And then, you know, the final, that was 20, and then I got a phone call saying I've got the part. And so, and I just thought, oh, that's good. Be a bit of fun. And after that, I did one TV thing for the BBC, a couple of commercials, and then I was really sort of concentrating on academic work after that. And you know, I have to admit, I've got this. Now I'm sort of thinking, oh, should I go back into it? Interesting. Get a part of it. See how I did now I'm grown up. I got into lots of trouble on the set, actually. I used to plague the hell out of the sound man, who was a really, really nice guy. John Purchase. And, you know, like when you film, there's like a series of things you have to do, you know, I say strike the arc, and it's a bloody great big arc light on, and then it's roll the cameras, you know, and then the sound man's running. And I always used to sit there, you know, with him, and he used to let me yell, "Running!" So, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of fun.
It was. Funny enough, the one which I've just been looking at that I recorded for a friend of mine was Get a Movie On. Now that was actually the very first episode that we filmed when we went live. So I'll always remember that one, you know, once we finished rehearsals and started recording. That was the very first one we recorded, although it wasn't the first one shown. But that was a really good one as well, because, you know, that was just fun. It was great. I suppose it takes people back to a gentler age, doesn't it? That's the main thing. There's nothing nasty in there at all. It's fun, but it's not fun at somebody else's expense. You know, it's good humour. I suppose also the thing is that what you had there was a group of children who were being children and not necessarily being forced to grow up quickly. Yeah, that's right. So, you know, it does take you back to a sort of time where kids really could be kids, I suppose. And, you know, where you can sort of expand your imagination by thinking, wow, I could be doing this, you know? I'm doing that. I went to get a train ticket in my local station because I was going into London, and this woman gave me such a peculiar look. She sort of looked at me. I thought, what's she looking at? And she said, have you been on the television? And I jumped back and I thought, oh my God, you know, there's been something like Britain's Most Wanted Criminal, and I look like the guy, you know. And I was saying, not recently, why? She said, were you ever in a programme called The Double Deckers? And apparently the entire crew of the railway station has been arguing about it for months. So that was quite strange, you know, when you think something you did 30 years ago is still following you around.
You made quite the impact.
It's funny.